Hey, Jason Fladlien, I had a client ask me recently about an offer that he was constructing, and he had a couple questions. And I thought, interesting. These questions, I would like to answer them on a YouTube video because I believe that there's many of you who have similar questions in your business, and not just the answers directly to these questions that are important, but the thinking behind them. I think it's going to be important for you if you ever make any offers at all in any markets to kind of sort through, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I try this first? Should I try that? So let's get down to business. So the first question that he asked me was about his product, and he wanted to know, was it better to sell a high ticket version of the product or a lower monthly recurring membership site with his product? And this is a very fascinating topic because the theory is that if somebody pays you, say, $49 a month in perpetuity, they will end up being worth far more to you as a client than if they pay you, say, $1,500 once. That's theory number one. Theory number two is that it's easier to sell a $49 a month subscription than it is to sell a $1,500 one-off product. Now, in practice, let me break down that the reality and the perception are far different. They're opposites practically of each other. There's niches with stars on their belly and then those that are not. So which one are true, which one isn't? First of all, believe it or not, in most markets, it's easier to sell a $1,500 product one-off than it is to sell a $50 a month continuity program. You say, what? I'm just telling you, after trying this in so many markets and so many times, and oftentimes point of sale, which I think is really important. Marketing is you're so far removed from your clients very often that it's hard to pinpoint what's really happening when it comes time to spend the money. In sales, you're asking somebody sitting right across from them saying, do you want this or not? And you can see it in real time. You can track data that you can on a spreadsheet. Like I can see the color of somebody's face change. And that can give me an indication of whether they're enjoying it or whether they're scared out of their mind. And I say, interesting. And in a lot of markets, people hate continuity, especially when it's related to information products. SaaS, different story. There's still a lot of similarities there. I could sell a software one-off for $1,500 easier than I could sell a software for $50 a month in most instances. Because the real scariness is this perpetuity. We all have this experience of signing up for membership sites and then not canceling them, signing up for auto subscriptions and then not canceling them. I paid for this thing from Fender Digital for my daughter. It's only $10 a month. She hasn't played the guitar in 3 years. I'm still paying for that damn thing. The credit card companies have now become so savvy that even if a credit card got lost, I replaced it with a new credit card and somehow they updated it and reconciled it and they're still billing me every single month. And it's frustrating to me. And so I even tried to go in and cancel it, but then they asked for me to create an account. And then I tried to create an account and then they said that account already exists. And I tried to reset the password, but somehow the password didn't get through. And then I'm like, forget it. I'll just pay $10 forever, I guess, or switch credit card companies at this point in time. So that's the fear for most people, is that hesitancy. The other issue with like a $50 a month continuity program is you still have to spend a lot on marketing up front to sell an offer. So I like to use affiliates to sell most of my offers. I can't tell an affiliate, hey, listen, I'll give you 50% of the sale. So 50% of $50 is $25. No affiliate at all that can do any damage is interested in making $25 a month per person. They want a big chunk of money and they want it all up front. So it's easier for me to get an affiliate to promote a $1,500 offer and say, I'm going to give you $750 on every single sale that you produce for me. So if I can't use an affiliate, I got to use paid marketing or I got to use organic marketing. If I'm going paid marketing, I'm still spending a lot of money to produce a sale. So I'm going to spend a lot of money, whether I'm going to produce a $50 sale up front day one or a $1,500 one. Now, cash flow is a challenging issue, right? So if I'm getting it month 2 and month 3 and month 4, but the rate of return on my investment from my clientele exceeds my payroll or my expenses or my overhead, I will go broke, even if I'm successfully acquiring customers. And so then you could say, well, we can do organic, and organic is fantastic, but you have to translate the amount of effort and time into money, and that's still expensive. So I would rather put all that effort into a $1,500 sale than to put all that effort into a $50 sale. The economics make more sense. The risk makes more sense, so on and so forth. Now, this doesn't mean we can't sell continuity. We absolutely can. At one point in time, I had 7 separate membership sites running, or 7 separate different continuity programs going simultaneously. They were all sold on the back of a one-off product. And I'm not talking that slimy, let me bury the continuity, like you pay me $1,500 a day and then 60 days later we start billing you $50 a month. None of that hidden nonsense. It's a stupid way to sell continuity in most instances. It was literally, you're going to buy this product for $1,500. I'm also going to gift you 2 months of this membership site. And then I'm going to kick you out on day 60 unless you reach out to me and say, here's some money, I want to continue to pay you. And that's a lot of the ways that we've structured our continuity programs. So now we're still making a continuity offer. It doesn't cost us any more money to make the continuity offer. The best way to sell a membership site is give them the experience of the membership site first and then ask them to pay for it later. So that's what we do. And then it's just a matter of making it an awesome experience that's unbeatable, where it costs them more money not to continue in than it does for them to pay us. So you can sell continuity that way. Now, here's what's interesting. If you go to Wall Street or you go to these VCs, they will pay an insane amount of money more for continuity-based services versus one-off payments. Now, think about why they would do that. Because it's so much harder. Therefore, it's more scarce. Therefore, it has more value. So if you think continuity is supposedly easier, it's not. Continuity is tremendously harder. But if you can make it work, bigger payoff. But the reason why most people that make continuity work are funded by venture capitalists is because it takes months, if not years, if not decades, before you can see a return on your investment. And what they're doing there is they're capturing market share. And then the theory is once there's enough market share, then we can charge whatever we want. Then we have a monopoly, so to speak, legal or otherwise. So now if you only could choose between one or the other, the one-off is going to be easier to maintain. It's going to be easier to market. It's going to take less resources and it's going to take less risk. And then if you can validate on the front end what that cost, that $1,500, if you can make that work or whatever the price point is, then you can add continuity to the back end, and then you can consider bringing continuity out on the front end as well. Where maybe then it becomes, if you enroll in my continuity, I'll give you the $1,500 course for free. Because then you have metrics. Then you know how long somebody stays. Then you know what the value of the client is. Then you know what they want and what they don't want. Then you have more interaction. But cart before horse. Let's just sell them something one time. And then if we sell them something one time, then we can mess around and see if continuity might make sense. So let me look at the second question here. Do you think that forums and communities attached to each are necessary? These are added value, but much more work to maintain. I absolutely do not think they are necessary. We have sold membership sites and we have sold programs in environments where everybody else offers a community and we do not. It's all a matter of how you frame it. So a community can be a benefit, but a community can be a curse as well. I've seen many more communities where people end up wasting time inside of the communities instead of using the community to help them as a resource. And so it's just a matter of, what do you want to start with? I say you start with the least amount of needed moving parts to engineer the most value to the most valuable slice of your market. And then once you have them, you can cautiously and slowly introduce additional perks, such as communities, such as forums. The other interesting question to ask is this: what could I produce that gets a similar result as a forum or a community that doesn't have to be a forum or a community? So could you do certain instances where you have Ask Me Anythings that pop up, or office hours, or where you open up for just 1 week every month, one very specific forum section, and then that's done after the week is over with? So it's more controlled, so you can remove the ongoing support and probably increase the experience that somebody has as a customer, because now you make the resource precious. Now you put parameters around it, and now you can control better how somebody can consume it. So you can simultaneously give kind of the 80-20 of it. What's the 20% of the effort that I can put in to get 80% of the value out of something like a forum or a community, without necessarily having to go the length of having a full-on blown community or a forum? And that's one of the ways you do it. The other interesting thing about memberships is you might find community leaders who are willing to take it over for you. So you start with, and you just observe in a very controlled setting, who is really interested in creating a community if ever there was one. Is there somebody who could lead that isn't me? So we've had massive success with continuity programs where we promoted from within. Certain people get involved in the continuity. They love it so much. They want to have assumed leadership or additional responsibilities, and we love to pay them for it. And this is how we can scale risk-free. And we are going to get a better result than if we paid an employee or if we hired a subcontractor, because now we have a believer who is willing to work there, who's doing it more than just for a paycheck, or even more just because they're being told to do it. They're coming up with the reason to do it. So I like to create environments where that sort of value can be incubated and flourished without being forced or without being needed. But ultimately, all that other stuff is window dressing. What is the end result somebody wants when they buy your program or your continuity? How can we make sure we give them that? That's the meat in the sandwich. The rest of it is just garnish, bread, lettuce, what have you. And then the last question. As for social media, do you think an online business in health and self-care could avoid it altogether and place it with video podcasting, realizing the popularity of audio and video podcasts on YouTube? This is a great question. And John, the answer to this, and all of you listening, the answer to this is yeah. You could completely avoid social media, or you could completely go insane on social media, or you can do a little bit of social media, or you can do a lot of social media. Or you could do no podcasting, or you could do all podcasting. And this is a massive lesson that is hard for most people to get. And a lot of people will never be able to get it. But some of you can get it, and that's who I'm giving this message to. It is your business, so it's your rules. If you think it makes more sense to your clients for your offer not to have social media surrounding it, then don't. And then sell the fact that it doesn't. So if you're spending less time on social media, you're spending more time on the solution. If you're spending less time on the packaging and the gift wrap, you're spending more time on what's inside the box. So whatever you do, there's going to be a justifiable reason for why you decided to do it that is in the customer's best interest. If it's not, then don't do it. Figure out a way to do it so it's in the customer's best interest, and then let them know about it. So if you said the reason we are not creating a forum is because I would rather invest the time in this resource for you, which I think is going to be better for you in these following ways, then you let them know. If you say we are not on social media because we want our customers to come to us in a certain state of mind, and we think social media gets in the way of that. So we want to reach you via these channels. And then once we got you, we can better serve you in these ways. And because we're not on social media and we're not trying to keep up with social media, instead what we're trying to keep up on is all the ways in which we can make this better for you every single day that you're in the program. So, take some salesmanship. But really, before it even takes salesmanship, it takes the guts and the courage for you to decide to do things your way. Not the way he's doing it, not the way she's doing it, not the way the market's doing it, not the way that would most easily satisfy a customer today, but what would truly serve the customer. Let's channel it from that perspective, and then let's try it out. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, but has promise, then make adjustments. If it falls flat on its face, cool. Go back to the drawing board. Now we're one step closer to figuring it out. You feel me on that one? If so, drop a comment here, subscribe, of course, like it, do all that jazz. I'll see you on the next video.